All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99 back with another video. All right, y'all knew I was going to speak on this one. Just got done checking out Erin Blanchfield's most recent interview leading up to her fight this Saturday with Manon Fiorot. And Erin, she's putting it out there, man. Erin is putting it out there that she's another flyweight that Macy didn't want to face. All right, she went on and said it that Maycee Barber didn't want to face her a couple of years ago. And I told y'all this about a year and a half or so ago that I think that Erin wanted that fight with Maycee Barber, but they turned that down. And also, I did a video on Manon Fiorot saying that she wanted to fight. Her and her team wanted to fight Maycee Barber at the time when I think either whenever Marina Rowe pulled out or it was before or after the Mayra Bueno-Silva fight. Somewhere around that period, they wanted to fight Maycee Barber, but Macy's team turned down that fight with Manon Fiorot. So I was like, that makes two. That makes two flyweights now that she didn't want to fight. But Erin Blanchfield, man, in this recent interview, she just spoke a lot of truth in it. She just speaking facts. She wasn't in there talking a lot of junk. She was just bombing back, if you will, or not even bombing back, just replying to what Maycee Barber had to say about her and how she really feels. And I can't really say she was lying. But after Macy made some comments about her and Manon being boring fighters and not exciting fighters, she addressed that, look, if you don't want to fight top-level fighters, don't keep talking. And she and Manon fought better fighters than her. And that's what I said in the past. Like, not to knock Maycee Barber and say, like, she's a coward or bad fighter, but some fighters just move faster. Some fighters move slower. Some fighters might have to take their time to improve, and that's Maycee Barber. She's just kind of in the slower lane, and it took her a little time to improve and advance in the UFC, whereas Manon and Erin, I think they were just on that path. They just had better technique, better skill, and just that hunger. They didn't let their words and their mouth get ahead of them, right? That's just truth. Like, Erin's speaking now because she's being asked about it, but, Erin's never really went off the deep end and just started speaking delusion too much. You know what I mean? Like, she's always just been like, okay, if this person wants to fight me, I'll fight him. Fine, let's do it. But other than that, Erin's always working. Manon's always working. So, I got to say that they have fought better fighters and they have progressed better. It's obvious. It's right there. But the thing that caught me was that Erin did say that she was scheduled to fight Maycee Barber 2 years ago. Like, I guess they actually had a date for a card. Like, she didn't give that exact date, but she did say that 2 years ago they were scheduled to fight, but Maycee Barber was pulled from the card for undisclosed reasons. I don't even know if it was an illness because she just said it was undisclosed. There was no sickness at the time. She just said that she was pulled from that card. And she did say that she also heard that Manon Fiorot wanted that chance, but Maycee Barber turned down that chance to fight her too. So I was like, I guess there is some truth to it, right? And I mean, it all kind of comes together because even when you look at it, Macy and her team, I think they probably were looking for that path of least resistance where they were looking for fighters that she could just slowly improve with and maybe eventually get her to that title shot and not waste a lot of energy on, like, against harder fighters. Because they did call out, after the Amanda Ebas fight, they did call out Lauren Murphy and Jessica Andrade. And that's, again, when I was like, why are they calling these fighters out? Because, Lauren Murphy was coming off the Andrade loss. Jessica Andrade was coming off like a 4 or 5 fight losing streak at the time, right? Or 2 or 3 fight losing streak. And, she went down to 115. So I was like, why are they choosing those fighters instead of Manon or Erin when Erin and Manon is like 2 and 3 at the time, So, yeah, you were just kind of looking at all that. I was kind of looking at all that. And, Erin's, she putting it out there that, look, 2 years ago, she could have fought me, but she turned it down. But this is what she had to say in this interview. I'm just kind of pull out these little key points and give my thoughts on it. But this is how she put it. I was matched up to fight her. She pulled out of that fight. I believe I heard Manon say Barber didn't want to fight her either. They were supposed to be matched up, and Barber said no. She talks a lot for somebody who's scared of fighting people at the very top. I don't really care much for her opinion. If you're too scared to fight people at this level, people that are at the top of their game, you shouldn't be talking. All right? And, yeah, that's kind of how I felt, too, like a couple weeks ago whenever she goes, Erin and Manon, they're not exciting. I mean, that's not really the point. They're top-level fighters. Whether you like their styles or not, they are where they are because they've beaten everybody they fought in the UFC. They fought some tough fighters. Between the two of them, they fought several title contenders now and a couple former champions, right? Rose, Andrade, Tyler Santos, Caitlin Chikag, and Jennifer Maia. And, they barely lost a round in those fights. I mean, they maybe lost a round here or there, but they barely were losing rounds in there. So whether you think they're boring or not, they are top-level fighters. So if you're not going to actually fight them, just don't even say anything about them. And that's how I feel. But she also spoke on the Caitlin Chikagian fight. And again, I have to agree with her because she pretty much said the same thing I did. Caitlin Chikagian is a high-level fighter, but she took a year off and she went through a lot. So I feel like her body and her mental space wasn't in the right place, whereas Macy was trying to get better. I feel like comparing my wins or even Manon's wins, we've beaten a lot better people. All right. And that is what I was saying about the Chikagian fight too. Like, that's a good win for her. That's probably her best win to date. I do agree that she did win the fight, because Chikagian is a tough fighter. Chikagian likes to fight anybody. You give her a call and she's getting in the cage with him no matter what. But I do think that the inactivity did have to play a factor in there, as Maycee Barber was improving and, she's been more active right now. Caitlin Chikagian with like over a year and some change off. I think that was just kind of a bad combination for her. But because honestly, I was about to pick Chikagian. Had Chikagian been active, I probably would have picked Chikagian because she was giving Barber some competition in there, So, yeah, I do think that had she not been off for over a year, and her body was on point, she would have been ready to go and she could have won that fight. And, yeah, again, like comparing her resumes, even though they are 6-0 apiece, like I do think that Manon Fiorot's and Erin Blanchfield's resumes are a little bit better because, again, you can argue Andrea Lee won that fight, and I still think Miranda Maverick beat her, who Erin Blanchfield dominated, right? Also, in this interview, she had this to say. This is how she addressed the junk talking from Maycee Barber straight up. This is how she addressed it. Listen, she's a little pathetic for how she talks with somebody who's not willing to fight people at the highest level that are really at the top of their game. She's talking about filling in spots for Alexa or Valentina. I win this fight against Manon. That's my spot to fill. And that's how you got to say it. Listen, she said she's a little pathetic for how she talks with somebody who's not willing to fight people at the highest level that are really at the top of their game. She's talking about filling in spots for Alexa and Valentina. But if I win this against Manon, that's my spot to fill. And again, who can argue that, right? Erin's 6-0 right now. You get another victory, that's 7-0. Macy, you got to step back, right? Rose, you got to step back. All of them got to step back. If Manon wins, all of you got to step back because they put in the work. Enough said, right? But yeah, I do feel the same way that, look, you might as well not really address how a person fights or what they're doing right now, especially if you didn't show any interest in wanting to fight fight either of them at the time, right? When they are at the top of their game. She wants to fight Alexa Grasso because she has been in there before. Alexa Grasso is still one of the best fighters on Maycee Barber's resume. You could argue and say that, okay, that is one of the better fighters on the resume, but she couldn't beat her, right? But she still hasn't fought this version of Alexa Grasso right now, so we can't really say, all right? So Erin Blanchfield, she addressed a lot of stuff about Macy. She just went in to say this is how she feels. It's pathetic. If you're not going to fight, just don't say anything. But as far as the title shot, if they get put on like a waiting list, she said she doesn't really care about that either. She said, I'd totally be down for that. I think they even pay you for that. It's kind of like, why not? Put yourself in that space to get that opportunity. I mean, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But you're giving yourself the best chance, right? And I kind of agree with her at this point. There's nothing you can do. Erin Blanchfield, she's young. She's gotten to this position now, and it's a good place for her to be because even if she is inactive, you can still get paid off in that, but she can still train, and her mindset is still sharp, and she's still young and fresh, right? So for her, I guess she'd be down for that. That's cool. But I would hate for her to see her have to go on like a 9 or 10 month or year layoff before getting the title shot, because that would still affect some people, young or not, because you still want to stay sharp and you still want to stay in that fight mode, right? But I think she's kind of prepared for just waiting. I actually would feel a little bit more sorry for Manon Fiorot if she was to win because, she's older, right? Like if she was to win this fight Saturday and then have to wait another 9 to 10 months, I mean, that's what it's looking like. But I think it would kind of it would be worse for her. It would be more of a downfall for Manon with, at her age, So I really would hate for them to have to do that. But if they have to stay active, they have to stay active. And Erin Blanchfield, she says she's open to that. Erin Blanchfield said that, look, if she's got to wait and she would have to fight down, she's open to that. And if it happened to be none other than Maycee Barber, she said, so be it. She said, look, if neither of us do get that backup role, I guess she's referring to her Manon, I would totally fight her. Or I guess she was talking about Maycee Barber here. She said, if neither of us get that backup role, I would totally fight her. I know I would win. I know I'd solidify my spot. So I'd totally be down for that. All right. So again, Erin Blanchfield just proving that she's the monster here, that she's the bigger fighter here, and the one that just wants to do whatever she has to do to fight. Right. So she said, look, if you don't want to fight top level fighters, be quiet. But look, if I win this fight and still don't get the title shot, I'll gladly fight you. Because, hey, I still know I'll beat you. Right. I know I solidify my spot. So I'll be down for that. And that's what I like to hear from these fighters. Like, if you're not talking, don't say anything. If you don't, if you ain't a talker, don't say anything. But if you're gonna speak facts, come with the words like this. Come with the mic game like Erin Blanchfield. So yeah, much respect to Erin in this interview for just telling it like it is. Look, she just put it out there. Look, Maycee Barber didn't want to fight her 2 years ago. Didn't want to fight Manon either. And if she wins this fight, she doesn't mind going 8-0 by taking on Barber next. All right. But yeah, guys, that's all I got on this one. I just wanted to speak on this and give my thoughts. Like I said, Erin Blanchfield, she pretty much was saying a lot of the stuff I already said and that I already heard before. But y'all act like I was just making it up. But some of y'all just act like Maycee Barber wasn't trying to avoid certain names. And look, I'm not trying to say she's a coward or like she's scared or anything, but I'm just questioning that myself. Like, why didn't she want to fight these two fighters? Like, why did they call out Lauren Murphy and Jessica Andrade instead of Erin and Manon when they're in position to get that title shot? Like, if you want that title shot, you need to knock off one of these two. Don't worry about Andrade and Murphy. I'm just saying. But let me know, guys, what y'all think in the comment section. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.